completion. Now, this coming just 2 months after a grand jury indicted former FBI Director James Comey for posting a similar photo containing the same message. Remember, he said he just happened to come upon these seashells in this formation.
Yeah, Brittany Hughes is a Media Research Center video host, and Barry Donadio is a national security analyst. Thank you both for being with us. Barry, your thoughts. Do you think that 8647 is a message that a lot of people understand, and that, I mean, it's clear, although Comey said he didn't know what it was, that whoever etched this into the National Mall grass must have?
Thanks for having me on your show. Absolutely. It should be taken as a true threat under Title 18 U.S. Code 871 and 879. You can't make a threat against the President of the United States. And this is a threat. And the reason why it's a true threat and not necessarily freedom of speech, because somebody went and took out the mission of putting these numbers in such a large field that it would take some engineering to do, however they did it. So now think, is that just freedom of speech, or are these people really on a mission, whoever's responsible for this, and are they capable of potentially hurting the president? I say yes. I think it's beyond freedom of speech. This is a statement to take out the president of the United States.
Brittany, who do you think could have possibly done it? Maybe the aliens, that President Trump, he released all that information. I mean, this is a bold and brazen act to do this on the National Mall.
And it took time.
It took time.
Yeah, I mean, I look over at James Comey, and I just been waiting for him to pop up and go, we just thought that these were some crop circles. What is this?
Right.
Look, it cannot be understated that at best case scenario, best case scenario, this is an act of vandalism. This is defacement of public property, of not just public property, but a national monument. Of course, we know leftists don't care about that because they do that all the time, but it is a crime and people should be held accountable. But at the same time, you also have to look and say, look, it can't be understated that we have a sitting president who has faced now 3 significant credible threats against his life, including 2 people who tried to shoot him to death, one of whom nearly succeeded. Okay, so no longer do we have a benefit of the doubt to give to someone and say, okay, well, this was a joke or this was just something stupid that they did. This is a credible threat and it should be treated as such. And I will add that because of that, it should be getting far more media coverage than it is. But of course, this is against a Republican president. And so the national news media, the same national news media that says things like, if you're for border security, that means that you want all black and brown people to die, and that's violence. They're going to look at this and say, oh, well, this is a nothing burger. There's really nothing to see here. It's not a real threat. Let's move on.
Barry, if it is a threat, though, why are they just investigating it sort of as a vandalism issue?
That's a good question. I imagine the Secret Service is going to be investigating this as a threat under the Title 18 that I mentioned earlier. Now, we all have to remember, if you're in a bar and you say that you're going to kill the president and somebody overhears that, and the Secret Service gets wind of it, they're going to have a talk with you. They're going to come talk to you and see if it actually is a true threat. You may be interviewed and say, yeah, I was just drunk and I didn't mean it. And the Secret Service can determine that, yeah, it wasn't a true threat. This was just an angry person. But let's take a look at the large scale of this operation to sit and conduct a mission to make these numbers in this field. It's a tremendous amount of effort to do that. So I would say that lumped into the message, lumped into the potential, makes this a true threat. Of course, when you catch up with this person, it's going to play out in the court, but they're in a lot of trouble when they get caught up too. That's for sure.
So, Brittany, was Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff, do we know where they were and where their lawnmowers were last night? Maybe I'm making a joke, but I mean, seriously, like who could have done this? This is a massive undertaking. You see the picture. If we
unless it was a lot of people at once.
Unless it was several people. And to your point, Brittany, the fact that nobody else is really covering this, to me, it's also kind of like a security issue that they were able to pull this off and no one noticed it right near the White House. And this is something that James Comey is under criminal investigation for. And somebody was able to do this on basically the White House lawn.
Well, now you're making me give a little bit of credit to Nancy Pelosi here, which I don't appreciate, but I'm going to guess not her. I think she would have broken a hip. But look, my money would absolutely be on more than one person. I don't think that logically you could look at this and say that one person could have pulled this off, the amount of time that it would have taken to do something on this scale. I think that we're probably looking at a group of people, which makes it even more insidious and even more dangerous, I think. And look, it's an escalation of the rhetoric that we've seen against the Trump administration and against President Trump himself now for years. When you constantly go on air, and this is where media bias is so incredibly important. These are not things that are spoken in a vacuum. This is incendiary, inflammatory rhetoric that has been pushed by the media, and we have seen repeatedly crazy people who then take that and turn it into action. At the White House Correspondents' Dinner, we saw somebody who not only tried to shoot Trump and members of the Trump administration, but who actually put in his manifesto the exact words that we have seen the media peddle now for years, that Trump is a Nazi, he's an autocratic fascist dictator, he's going to destroy the country, and that somebody needs to do something about that. And then when we see stuff like this happen, then the media is like, oh, well, we didn't actually mean it. That's not a call to violence. The heck it isn't. Everybody understands what's happening here.
Right.
And so we're going to continue to see this until, again, the media is held accountable for the verbiage that they are using.
Yeah, well, we'll watch this investigation, see how that plays out and who is behind this. Brittany Hughes, Barry Donadio, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
UFC Freedom 250 is set for this.